Hey everyone, so today we're going to be creating a game in Python using Pygame. And what this is going to be is a basic, you control the car and you have to dodge incoming obstacles. And so the first thing we're going to do is actually import our modules. And the first thing we're going to do is import Pygame, since we're creating this in Pygame. And we can also import a few more, which is import time, as well as import random. And these two modules are going to help us later in the game. And the first thing we want to do when we are going to run Pygame is we're going to initiate Pygame by writing pygame.init. And now at the end, when we're done with our code, we want to quit Pygame. And so we just write pygame.quit and then quit. So if we just run this as it is, we have this. And yeah, that's basically all there is for now. So there's basically nothing. And now what we are going to do is we're going to add a clock. And so this is going to help with our frame rate in our game. So we can create a clock. Clock is equal to pygame.time.clock. And now that we've done that, we can add RGB colors. So we have black is equal to 0, 0, 0. And we have red is equal to 255, 0, 0. And now that we have all those set up, we can now set up our window. So set up window and have the window width equal to 500 pixels and window height is equal to 400 pixels. And WN is equal to pygame dot display dot set mode with the width and not just width, WN width window height. Cool. And now pygame dot display dot set, and set caption to race car with roadblock. Alright, now if we try to run this right now, run, oops, looks like I misspelled something. Yep. Okay, save, run, and there you go. Well, so you saw a little black screen pop up and disappear. Well, that's supposed to happen right now. And so as we add more things, that should stay longer. So now that we have that, we can add our define or function game loop or game function. So what we could do is create a function, define game loop, and create a while true statement. So while true, we want, actually while true, we want to for event in pygame.event.get if event get if event.type is equal to pygame.quit, then we want to quit Pygame. So this is just if the user wants to leave the game. So we'll just quit the Pygame. And now at the end of this for loop, pygame.display.update. So we want to update our screen. Now clock.tick 60. So this is going to update our screen every 60 frames per second. Cool. Let's go in our actual game. So it's out of the function and inside of our actual code. And main loop. Let's run the main loop function. So game loop. Let's save this and run it. Okay, now we have a actual screen or window, and this thing doesn't just disappear immediately, but yeah, it's just a black screen. We're gonna add to it now. Yes, I want to kill it. And now we want to add an image. So underneath, or actually above our game loop, let's add an image. So we can add an image. Background is equal to pygame.image.load. And we're gonna load a pre-downloaded image. So the images that I use are going to be in the description. And you can follow along just like I do. So images track.png. So yeah, you'll have these images in the description. We will have a car image, so car image is equal to pygame.image.load. This is going to be a car image, so images slash Porsche slash or dot png. And now we've basically loaded our background image as well as our car image. So let's actually run this and see what we have right now. And actually, I don't think anything's changed. Yeah, nothing has changed. We've only loaded it. Great. Now that we have that, we can add up to our game loop function. So underneath the for loop, we want window dot bullet background 0 0. And what this will do is that it will actually update our window more. So let's run this. Alright, so there we have it. We have our background image that we've loaded. And yeah, that's all we have so far. Good. We have our background image. Yep. Now that we have that, the reason this is 0 0 is because it starts at the 0 0 coordinate starts at this top left right there. And we actually want our the top left of our image to be at this point. So close. Yes. And now we can create our player class. So let's above our game loop function, we can create a class. So class player and def init self self.image is equal to car image self.height is equal to self.image.getHeight. So this will get the height of the image that we use. Self.rect is equal to self.image.get rect self.rect.x is equal to int window width times 0.5, and self.rect.y is equal to int window height times 0.5. And now we can set the speed, so self.speedx to 0. So now that we've created our player class, we can create a player object and now display the player image inside of our game loop function. So we can put this after here, wn.blitz player.image comma player.rect.x and player.rect.y. So let's save this and run what we have so far. Syntax. There isn't supposed to be a period there. Oops. Looks like we have another error. Player is not defined. Player.image. Oh, that's right. We haven't created our player yet. Okay, so underneath the defining function, we want to set player is equal to player right there. And that's actually going to create the object. So now let's run this. And now we have the car. And again, the image of the car as well as the background, it's going to be in the description, so you can follow along exactly how I do it. Of course, if you still want to get your own images, you can use those as well. And now that we've actually shown our player in our background, let's actually update it in the player class. So in the player class, we can create another function, update self. We set a key state is equal to pygame dot key dot get pressed, and this will be a true or false value depending on if the player is pressing a key on your keyboard. And if key state pygame dot key underscore or k underscore left. So if the player is pressing the left key, then we want to set self dot speed x to -10, or let's say they were also the key states pygame dot k underscore right was pressed, then I want to set the speed of x to 10, so positive. So if they press left, the speed is going to be negative, and if they press right, the speed is going to be positive for right. And again, well, or not again, after this, after these if statements, we could set self dot rect dot x equal to self dot rect dot x plus self dot speed x. So let's save this. And now in our game function, in our game loop, underneath our true, right there, underneath our for loop, we want to update our player using the player.update function. And now let's save it and run. Hit right arrow keys. You see that the car is moving, but they're not stopping. And you also notice that it's going out of bounds. So that's a problem that we need to fix right now. So let's close that. And then we can set a boundary. Let's go up here. And above the player class, we can set our boundary values. So west underscore b is equal to, our boundary on the west side is going to be 157. And our east boundary, east to b, is equal to 359. And now in our player function, not player function, in our player class, in our update function right here, we can check boundaries. So check boundaries. And if self.rect.left is less than west boundary, then we want self.rect.left to equal west boundary. So this way we'll never actually leave the boundary. Or if self.rect.right is greater than east boundary, self.rect.right is equal to east boundary. So let's save our code and let's run what we have so far. And there you go. So you notice that as much as you hold it, your car will not go out of this boundary, which is good. And that's all we have for this part. And this is just part 1, and I'll see you guys in part 2.